Sometimes, cars don't fail because they're bad. They fail because they're too good, too advanced for their time, too different for buyers to understand, too perfect for the market they were born into. We like to believe that great engineering always wins, that the best car will naturally rise to the top. But the car world doesn't work like that. Timing, pricing, branding, and public perception matter just as much as horsepower and design. Over the years, some cars arrived with incredible technology, brilliant ideas, and performance that embarrassed rivals. On paper, they should have been unstoppable. Instead, they disappeared. Today, we're looking at cars that were genuinely excellent, sometimes revolutionary, yet somehow failed. Not because they deserved to, but because the world wasn't ready for them. Chapter 1. The DeLorean DMC-12-2. Futuristic for reality. When you see a DeLorean today, you don't think failure, you think Back to the Future. But when it launched in 1981, the DeLorean DMC-12 was a disaster. And that's tragic, because the idea behind it was brilliant. Stainless steel body panels, gull-wing doors, a design that looked like it came from another planet. It was built to last forever, no rust, no fading paint, a car that would age better than anything else on the road. But perfection on the outside hid problems underneath. The engine was underpowered, the build quality was inconsistent, and worst of all, the price was far too high for what buyers actually got. The DeLorean wasn't bad, it was misunderstood. People expected supercar performance because it looked like a supercar. What they got was a stylish cruiser instead. By the time Hollywood turned it into a legend, the company was already gone. The DeLorean didn't fail because it was ugly or boring. It failed because expectations crushed it. Chapter 2. The Mazda RX-8, too clever to survive. Mazda did something brave when it released the RX-8. They ignored trends, ignored turbocharging, ignored convention. Instead, they built a sports car around a rotary engine. Smooth, high revving, and completely different from anything else on the road. The RX-8 was balanced perfectly. It handled beautifully. It had real rear seats, and it revved past 9,000 RPM like a motorcycle. From a driving perspective, it was near perfect. But the rotary engine was both its magic and its curse. It drank fuel, it consumed oil by design, and it required owners who actually understood how it worked. Most buyers didn't. In an era where people wanted low maintenance and high reliability, the RX-8 demanded care and knowledge. When owners ignored that, the engine suffered, and the car's reputation collapsed. The RX-8 wasn't unreliable. It was misunderstood, too unique for the average buyer, too different for mass appeal. Chapter 3. The Saab 9.5, too smart for its own. Good. Saab never built cars the normal way. They built them like engineers, not marketers. The Saab 9.5 was packed with clever ideas. Night panel mode, turbo efficiency, safety features, years before rivals even considered them. The car was solid, comfortable, fast when needed, and incredibly safe. But it didn't scream for attention. While German rivals sold status and image, Saab sold intelligence. And unfortunately, intelligence doesn't always sell in the car market. Saab kept improving the 9.5 quietly, while others shouted loudly. By the time the stunning second-generation 9.5 arrived, it was too late. The company was already dying. The car was right. The timing was wrong. Saab didn't lose because they made bad cars. They lost because they didn't play the game. Chapter 4. The Toyota Supra Mk5. Too good? Too controversial. The Mk5 Supra is one of the most capable sports cars Toyota has ever built. Fast, refined, technically excellent. So why did it struggle with public acceptance? Because perfection sometimes offends people. The MK5 Supra was developed with BMW. And while that partnership resulted in an incredible driving machine, fans couldn't get past the badge engineering. This isn't a real Supra. This is just a BMW? But here's the truth. Toyota built one of the best balanced modern sports cars on the market. The engine was strong, the chassis was sharp, the reliability was solid. The problem wasn't the car. The problem was expectations. People wanted nostalgia. Toyota delivered progress, and progress doesn't always feel comfortable. Over time, the MK5 has earned respect. But the early damage showed how even great cars can stumble when emotion gets involved. Chapter 5, the Honda NSX, 2nd Gen. 2. Advanced to be loved. The original Honda NSX changed everything. It showed the world that a supercar could be reliable, usable, and perfectly engineered. The 2nd generation NSX tried to do the same for a new era. Hybrid power, electric motors, all-wheel drive, every wheel thinking, calculating, adjusting. Technically, it was a masterpiece, but emotionally, it struggled. Buyers compared it to loud, dramatic rivals, cars that felt wild and raw. The NSX felt calm, precise, almost clinical. It was faster than people realized, smarter than most competitors, and easier to live with than nearly all of them. But again, too perfect. It didn't shout, it didn't scare you, it didn't demand attention. And in the supercar world, that mattered. Cars don't fail just because they're flawed. Sometimes they fail because they arrive too early. Sometimes because buyers don't understand them. And sometimes because perfection doesn't match emotion. The cars we talked about today were not mistakes. They were experiments, bold ideas, engineering statements, and history has a funny way of being kind to cars that failed. Years later, we look back and realize something important. They weren't bad cars. They were too good for their time. And maybe that's the biggest irony of all.